Blunderbuss 79 at established in 8-bit. We got a lot to get into. Welcome back. Let's go ahead and get right to it. Greetings, agents. This is CM Fragment. Agents prepare to spend the summer with fantastic performance, stage decorated with lilacs and the future technologies that transcend centuries. Luna Snow will be the center stage that will blast the summer with her new Tier 4. Mysterio will invite agents across the illusions with his new uniform. Also, the metaphysical capabilities of native Tier 3 KANG the Conqueror. We're late. Hells yeah. In battles, agents check out the new skills and powers of the updated heroes by downloading patch 8.8. Let's go ahead and get right into it. So KANG is coming in as a native Tier 3.
I need my money. What that got to do with me, punk? What that got to do with me? I ain't got no money, so you better break out like the chicken pox, punk.
You're gonna unlock him through World Boss Conqueror. He's coming in as a universal supervillain, human male. Leadership is gonna have 55% all attack with a 12-second debuff removal on a 20-second cooldown, and the attack does activate separate from the debuff, so that is dope that they finally figured that whole thing out. He also is gonna have a revive, 50% chance to penetrate everything. That's all the time. 300-second cooldown on the revive, of course, and he's also gonna have 5% pierce, increase skill damage, bonus damage by 40%, decrease basic damage received by 40%. So he could be viable for PvP with that revive and the debuff removal and the penetration. He also has a counter attack on the second skill. He's got some paralysis that ignores immunity on the first skill. Got some decreased recovery rate by 50% on the first skill. That could actually be good against a lot of healing metas like Wolverine and Warlock and these types. He's also going to have a 15% heal on an 8-second cooldown. First skill has a 7-second cooldown, so he's going to be able to pop those things pretty regularly. He also has incapacitation, some more paralysis that ignores immunity, and see what he's got going on. Some more paralysis that ignores immunity, so a lot of paralysis in his kit. Some 1% damage accumulation when attacking a V-pad skill on the board. That's nice. It also has a frenzy buff, some burn and bleed. He also has some silence in his kit, as well as an 8-hit barrier. He also has a 4-second invincibility coming from the 5th skill, and his skill cooldown times don't look too shabby either. He's got 15, 15, and 15 across the board on the 3, 4, and 5. So yeah, that's gonna be pretty nice. Let's go ahead and check out the uniforms for Luna and Mysterio. So you're gonna acquire her through the tokens, of course. You're gonna have to purchase at least 20 of those and wait until I believe Friday and get the other 10 that they're gonna give away for free.
I'm tired of this. You gonna what? Smack
He does have the increased cold resist, increased cold damage, and decreased basic damage received coming from her uniform effect, 20%, 25%, and 10% respectively. Still has the heal coming from the Tier 3 skill, so that's great. She also has 1.2 damage accumulation now instead of the 1% that she had coming from the light Sirius armor. Her passive, she has increased basic attack by 30%, increased basic defense by 10%, increase all speed by 5%. They're changing her Tier 2 passive from Moonlight Snow to protection of light and ice. That's going to be 40% chance to become immune to fire damage, increase cold damage by 30%, and skill damage bonus damage by 30% and 20%. But at the end of the day, it may only amount to as much as a name change. It only bumps up the skill damage by 5% and the bonus damage by 5%. However, the biggest changes to Luna are really going to come in terms of her survivability. Of course, she's going to be hitting way harder, but as you can see on the 4th and the 5, they bumped up her heal from 15% to 25%, as well as on the Tier 3, they bumped that up 7% to 15%. And of course, with the damage accumulation being 1.2% instead of 1% as it was previously, she's probably gonna slap pretty hard. In addition to that, they did give her a V-pad on the second skill that wasn't there before, so her ability to be able to get out of harm's way is gonna be greatly increased. And for my guy Mysterio, it's got the exact same uniform effect as before. Increase basic all attack by 50%, decrease basic damage received by 66%. They did bump up his penetration chance by 5%, and his uniform is going to be 1,750 crystals. It's not going to be on sale. He is going to be supervillain Blast male, so no change in the typing there. He's also got the increased skill damage, bonus damage by 40% and 40% respectively. And then they're changing this cunning, giving him cunning battle instead of the showmanship. So it looks like they're getting away from all of the summons and stuff. That may be really good for him. We're just gonna have to wait and see. Hopefully his skills are still decently cancelable. He does have the increased basic damage dealt to boss types by 40% for all supervillain allies, and he has the increased all basic attack by 30%. So a lot of support coming from Mysterio here. This is looking like a really good support for supervillains. They did bump up his healing on Summer Illusion by 5%, so that's actually dope. He's still got the barrier. I really wish they'd have gave him invincibility or something like that. Damage immunity, maybe. They did increase the barrier by 4, and they actually moved it because it used to be on his second skill. They did bump up the damage accumulation from 0.5% to 1%, and it's going to be when he's attacking for 6 seconds. So that's actually dope. It's on a 14-second cooldown, so that is really good. He's got the 100% chance for damage immunity for 4 seconds on the 4th skill, so he's got some survivability there, along with some decreased mind resistance. Not really going to do you much good in World Boss Legend. And the frenzy buff, so that's actually dope. 40% all attack, 40% defense, and then he's got another 5 seconds of invincibility on the 5th skill.
We have here is a failure to communicate with the young folk and the older folk. Is that what it is? That what?
So now the barrier isn't looking so bad. It's looking like some extra on top of, as opposed to just that's the only thing that he has. Got some healing, got some barrier, got some damage immunity for 4 seconds, got some invincibility for 5 seconds. So Mysterio may actually be a really solid character. He's also got a damage proc here for 50%. For 6 seconds for 1 attack. So Mysterio's shaking out to be pretty good. Let's check out Luna's Tier 4 skill. It's going to be when Striker skill is used, increase basic damage by 80%, decrease by 8% every second, 10 seconds. So is this decrease by 8%? Does this part of it stack? We're gonna have to wait and see. That could actually make Luna very tanky every time she pops that thing, actually, if it stacks like. So for Kang's Tier 3 skill, he's gonna get 4 seconds of time freeze, some burn damage, some ignore target dodge rate by 100% for 8 seconds, 8 seconds of invincibility, 70% increase all attack for 8 seconds. So that's actually pretty live right there. Kang's artifact here, he's gonna get an increased basic damage dealt to superheroes and supervillains by 20%. And under other information, some skills of Odin, Avengers 1000 BC has been improved. So let's get into this right quick. So before he had lightning damage of 160%, looks like they're bringing that down 70%. So we're gonna have to wait and see if this is actually a nerf, because on his 4, 5, and the Odin's Blessing Striker skill, they increased the hit count. So we're gonna have to wait and see how all of this is gonna shake out. They didn't do anything in terms of skill cooldown or changing the skills or anything like that. And they also didn't say anything about the supports not working for Odin. So we're gonna have to wait and see if this fixes the whole thing. Hopefully it does. At least they did something as far as addressing Odin. So that's actually dope. Still got a bunch of people here mad because they're not clarifying, I guess. So yeah, and scrolling down the comment section here, and I actually came across this little animation here. I'm not sure if this is Kang's Tier 3 skill or not. If it is, the animation looks absolutely dope.
How many did you call? All of us.
But it also looks like something that got sort of hijacked from Doctor Strange. So this is what I'm talking about right here. Doctor Strange's Year 3 animation. It looks eerily similar, sort of. Plus there are a lot more Stranges, but you see what I mean. Very, very similar stuff. Anywho, it's been a pleasure hanging out with y'all once again. Y'all like, comment, share, sub. Let me know what y'all think down in the comments below. I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace.